What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new video. It snowed last night. We got a decent amount, but you can't really tell in the video. But I wanted to talk in this short clip about how modern movies, modern entertainment, modern shows, they just suck, guys. They suck. And that's why I did the video yesterday talking about the Spawn animated series that HBO produced. It's because it's kind of a time capsule of sorts for when, you know, wokeism hadn't infected like a parasite all entertainment. New movies, new shows, new forms of entertainment, they just don't have what they used to have, guys. And I'm sick of being bombarded with political propaganda when I want to watch a show, right? So a lot of the new movies are garbage. They use excess CGI, which ages very poorly. And even the modern CGI, for instance, on like the Star Wars films, it looks like garbage. That's a perfect example of woke Hollywood destroying George Lucas's amazing creation, Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy, in my opinion, has helped destroy Star Wars. It is so dumb. I can't even watch it. I can't. Look at what they did to Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars films, the new ones. They ruined his character. 100%. He went from being a noble, powerful Jedi to being, I don't even know what to call it. Those of you guys who have seen that, you probably know what I'm talking about. Or maybe you like the new Star Wars, but I can't stomach it. It's so sad how these, I think Star Wars is a perfect example. It's so sad how they've taken something that was so great and just reduced it beyond zero. And I don't understand personally how people even enjoy the modern Star Wars. It's horrible. It's horrible. I give it a 0 out of 10. I'd give it a negative 100 out of 10 if I could. It's that bad, you guys. The CGI, even though it's modern, it looks so fake. And that CGI, it ages very poorly. So even after just a couple of years, it's so easy to discern that it's CGI. And I like the old Star Wars films that Lucas was behind because they used a lot of miniatures. They didn't use as much CGI, right? So CGI wasn't as evolved then as it is now. But if you go back and get like a Blu-ray of the original Star Wars trilogy and watch it, you guys, it has aged so well. It's amazing to this day how real this stuff looks. And you compare that to modern Star Wars, Disney Star Wars, it's a fucking nightmare. It's embarrassing in my opinion. The people behind these woke shows and all this crap, they should be embarrassed. They should. And they obviously need to get some better leadership if they want to redeem, for instance, Star Wars. And that's just one of many examples of how Hollywood has ruined these amazing shows, movies, etc. The Sopranos movie. Oh my God. I grew up watching The Sopranos. I'm still a huge fan. But watching what they did with the Better Saints of Newark, they should be embarrassed. They should be stripped of their job titles, etc. That was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, simply because I grew up again watching The Sopranos and I loved it. And I wish I would have never watched that movie, because now every time I watch the Sopranos show, and I watch it all the seasons, I rewatch it every 2 to 4 or 5 years. But now anytime I go to watch that, I just have that black cloud of the Better Saints of Newark over my head. They just ruin shit. They ruin shit. And I like to believe in the motto of you go woke, you're gonna go broke. And it's true. These movies have flopped. These shows are flopping. It's not working. The woke agenda is nonsensical, especially in entertainment, guys. You know, another good example of how they ruined something great was The Hobbit. Look at Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. It is phenomenal. I just rewatched The Fellowship of the Ring, and I think tonight I'm going to rewatch The Two Towers and The Return of the King. I love those. Again, I grew up watching these. Those are perfect examples of film done right. But look at what they did with The Hobbit, and I don't think Peter Jackson had anything to do with The Hobbit. The CGI in The Hobbit literally looks like World of Warcraft cutscene graphics. It is embarrassing. And on top of that, they made it way too childish. Why do they have to take these serious stories and make them lighthearted, right? Why can't we get something real? But yeah, the CGI in that, it is, I can't even watch it. It's that bad. So unfortunately, I think the standard has been set so low that the newer generations, they're getting used to this and they think this is like the gold standard for film and entertainment. That's sad to me because it is disgusting what they've done to entertainment, you guys. But yeah, have you seen the Sopranos movie, The Better Saints of Newark? That's a perfect example of how they had some good trailers. I was excited for it. But James Gandolfini's kid that played young young Tony, I think he was in the movie for less than like 10 minutes. And in the trailers, they made it seem like the movie revolved around him. His acting was horrible. The script writing was horrible. The casting was horrible. So again, guys, it's just sad what they do to this shit. So I'm more of a fan of collecting older DVDs, stuff that I grew up on, because it doesn't have all this wokeism and all this nonsense. And back then, and this is the biggest difference between then, when entertainment was good, and now, where it's garbage. Back then, they put a huge emphasis on character growth and story development. And the drama behind it. The writing was superb. Nowadays, you guys, they put more emphasis on CGI and bedazzling you with CGI and graphics. They put more emphasis on that than the actual stories, than the characters, etc. So, and this is why they're failing. And I'm not the only one that thinks this, you guys. Their ratings are plummeting. They're in the gutter. It's because it's an insult on our intelligence, for one, that you think that you can just rapid produce, for instance, these Star Wars films and just use a bunch of CGI and keep us sitting on one ass cheek the whole time. Oh, what's going to happen next? Oh my God. It's like this constant action. There's more to movies than just action and CGI. The action and the CGI only has merit if you've got a good story. If you've got a good fucking story. So again, guys, this is just a quick little rant about how entertainment has gone right down the toilet. Right down the toilet. I like to think that things will turn around. They're going to have to. If for instance, Star Wars, if they want to redeem themselves, they've got to change something, guys. And people say, oh, they got it right with The Mandalorian. I watched 2 episodes of that, and I'm never watching that shit again. It's horrible. It's horrible. The Mandalorian is garbage beneath my feet. It is that bad. It's so disappointing that things have gone in this direction. And entertainment is not the only thing that has gone right down the shitter. It's everything right now. It's everything. The standards, again, have been set so low for so long that people have gotten used to it. It's just, what the hell? What happened to our reality? What happened to entertainment? What happened to good story writing? What happened to good character development? What happened to good lore? Man. And you know what? You also see this in video games, guys. Video games are a shadow of what they once were. There's more to a good story in a video game, or there's more to a video game than just fucking graphics. A lot of the new games, they feel hollow. They feel empty, even though some of these open worlds, for instance, Skyrim, they're huge. But Skyrim is like 1,000 miles long and an inch deep. I think the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is way better. The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind is way better. They put more emphasis on story development and characters, guys. And back then, you actually had to read. Like in Morrowind, you had to do a ton of independent research. You had to fill journals with notes, etc. Because that's a real role-playing game. Skyrim, every time you do a quest, it tells you on your map where to fucking go. What's the point? It's like a accepted form of cheating that has become the gold standard. Skyrim is only good if it's fucking modded. When it's modded properly, Skyrim is an incredible game. But when it's not modded, right out of the box, at least in my opinion, it's garbage. The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, incredible. Play that with OpenMW. Mod Morrowind to get the graphics up to today's standard, and you're gonna have an incredible role-playing experience that makes modern Skyrim without mods look like dog doo-doo. Man. But yeah, a lot of the video games, you guys, the graphics are incredible, but they feel so empty. It's like there's just nothing there. And that's why a lot of people get so bored with modern video games. They don't hook you like they used to. Red Dead Redemption is a good example of a good game where the developers did things right. But man, hopefully things will turn around. I'm more of a, I like the nostalgia better of old games, even Super Nintendo games, Sega Genesis games, etc. The stuff, it was just such a more magical time, you guys. I don't know if I wish, but I almost kind of regret the fact that modern video games have gotten so advanced. There was more of a charm to them when the graphics were more simple, right? On like the PlayStation 2, for instance, or the N64. A lot of the side scrollers on Super Nintendo, NES, etc., they're incredible, including Sega Genesis. But sadly, I don't think we're ever, sadly, I don't think we're ever going to get that type of magic back. So luckily, you guys, these older games, you can still play them. They're a time capsule of an easier, more simple time. But yeah, you can get a 620 game Super Nintendo retro game bundle. I don't know if it's just Super Nintendo games and NES, etc. It's a Nintendo, it looks like a Nintendo console, but for $20 on Amazon, you can get a emulator of retro games for, it's cold out here, you guys. It's like 18 degrees. You'll have to forgive me. My brain's not working. I'm going to wrap this one up. But for $20, you can get 620 games, retro games on one console. 20 bucks. That's the type of stuff that I hope my videos can inspire you to go and check out, right? And of course, yeah, like I suggest buying, if you're into gaming, buy a Sega Genesis, buy a Sega Saturn, buy a Sega Dreamcast, buy an N64. But these emulators are awesome, you guys. Playing games like Contra, the old Mario games, etc. And Mario 64, for instance, that is just an awesome game. But the older ones are just as good, if not better, you guys. But the modern stuff is just, it's embarrassing. It's laughable. So fuck the woke agenda. Fuck all this nonsense where they put more emphasis on bedazzling you with visuals than giving you a good story, a good role-playing experience, etc. I'm going to wrap this one up. May peace be with you.